Hello, and welcome to Avio's Journey. My name is Anthony Pica. This show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business, sidestep all of the crazy things that this guy seems to step on. It is Thursday, the 2nd of December, and I'm coming to you from the booth today because I want to go over some voice acting things, specifically going to read a script in two different ways and show you how we can utilize two different types of reads to give one that's a normal, run-of-the-mill type of read, but then a couple of different things we can do to really make it upbeat, exciting, add personality and attitude to a voiceover. So this specific voiceover we're doing there is for a product called Rollmate. Okay, and it's for a dog, and the narrator is narrating to a video, right, where, we are actively breaking the fourth wall, speaking. The narrator is speaking to the audience, but also speaking to the dog, interacting. So the personality of the narrator needs to be super upbeat and excited. I love these types of reads because I'm a goofball myself, so it really kind of fits my personality. But I think a lot of us, when we get a piece, we're afraid to let go, and we're afraid to add our own personality. We think it needs to be more run-of-the-mill, straightforward. So I want to give you two different types of reads today and talk about what we're going to do with both of them, okay? So the first read we're going to do is going to be very even tone, not too crazy, and very not full of attitude or personality, if you will. All right, so let's go ahead and do the first one just so we can get some nice contrast here, okay? Here's the first one. Hey, you there, dog. Tell your human about Rollmate. That was me, silly. I'm the narrator, of course. Are you tired and frustrated with feeding your four-legged furry friends only to end up wearing the juices as a bad cologne you didn't want on? The creepy-looking plastic tentacles that seem to get bigger as the roll goes down, or when you go to the fridge to find that the dog roll is reduced to a slimy, smelly mess that somehow is on every single shelf? And those fresh veggies I only bought a day ago, ruined. Sorry, this only happened today. Okay, so we did a straightforward read. I mean, it wasn't bad, right? But, it didn't have that kind of extra oomph, if you will, that excitement that I think this piece calls for, that personality and attitude. So what I'm going to do to add, so if you notice with that one, okay, which by the way, it flowed nicely. There wasn't really an issue with the tempo or the pacing, but there was a lot less inflection. There wasn't as much reactions or subtext that I added to the piece. And I always call the subtext the story underneath the story, right? How you're saying the words is just as important, all right, or why you're saying the words or how you say them is just important as saying them. Does that make sense? So I'm going to do this again, but this time I'm going to add a couple things. I'm going to add some inflection. I'm going to add some physical body movement to draw out some more expression through my vocals. I'm going to add some different subtext to some of the words, and I'm going to add some different pauses and speeds. Okay, so let's go ahead and give it a shot. Hey, you there, dog. Tell your human about Rollmate. That was me, silly. I'm the narrator, of course. Are you tired and frustrated with feeding your four-legged furry friends only to end up wearing the juices as a bad cologne you didn't want on? The creepy-looking plastic tentacles that seem to get bigger as the roll goes down, or when you go to the fridge to find that the dog roll has reduced to a slimy, smelly mess that somehow is on every single shelf. And those fresh veggies I only bought a day ago, ruined. Sorry, this only happened today. Okay, so as you can tell, I totally added more personality and attitude to that second read. And I did that through pitch variation like, hey there, or hey you there, hey you there, dog. Tell your human about Rollmate. Right? Like you could see the pitch variation when you're not trying to add that over the top attitude personality. You want to keep your pitch very almost monotone, just or very hilly, not peaks and valleys. Does that make sense? Like if you're doing like e-learning and stuff like that, it's more of a hilly type of read when it comes to inflection. But when we're doing character work, or we're giving expression of energy and attitude and personality, we want those peaks and valleys. We want to go up and we want to go down. Okay, because that gives it's more, again, that gives energy. Okay, that gives the feeling of energy. So also, if you notice, I added a lot of subtext, right? In places like, the wearing the juices of a bad cologne, or smelly, slimy. I was giving the words, the way I was saying them was giving them a lot different type of feel. Okay, and then if you notice at the bottom, you know what I mean? I just totally went like, sorry, this only happened yesterday. It's almost like as a matter of fact type of thing. I kept that monotone because that gave a feeling of like a frustration of giving up about something. I just did it yesterday. It just happened. Why? I just bought them yesterday, right? So I think that you can see all of the differences within the way I did the first one and I did the second one. So let's take a listen side by side. I'm going to hit my B button on my keyboard, and that is a rack that I have set up, a preset. And also, you're going to hear it because as I spoke and I did these, since I have the Universal Audio Apollo Twin, I already have them EQ'd and I have them compressed, already done. So now I'm just going to be raising the volume a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and hit my hard limiter so it doesn't go over -1. I'm not going to so much worry about the breaths. Like I could come in here, I could reduce the volume of some of them. Then I could take a little bit, I could copy, I could come in here and I could go through here really, quickly, and I could just paste, some room tone so there's not, strange breaths coming throughout. You know what I'm saying? Whoops. So, it's just kind of, different stuff like that, but I'm not going to worry about it for time purposes. So let's go ahead and take a listen to the first one and the second one, okay? Hey, you there, dog. Tell your human about Rollmate. That was me, silly. I'm the narrator, of course. Are you tired and frustrated with feeding your four-legged furry friends only to end up wearing the juices as a bad cologne you didn't want on? The creepy-looking plastic tentacles that seem to get bigger as the roll goes down. Or when you go to the fridge to find that the dog roll is reduced to a slimy, smelly mess that somehow is on every single shelf. And those fresh veggies I only bought a day ago, ruined. Sorry, this only happened today. Okay, so as you could tell, that wasn't that bad, right? I mean, it flowed nicely. It was okay. Let's listen to the second one and see the contrast. Hey, you there, dog! Tell your human about Rollmate. That was me, silly! I'm the narrator, of course! Here's another thing, too. Because it is a dog, we like the dogs. A lot of us talk to our dogs like, hey there, boy! Hey, girl! We're excited about our dogs because they're super excited about us. So, when you have that context, again, that's more subtext. Are you tired and frustrated with feeding your four-legged furry friends only to end up wearing the juices as a bad cologne you didn't want on? The creepy-looking plastic tentacles that seem to get bigger as the roll goes down, or when you go to the fridge to find that the dog roll has reduced to a slimy, smelly mess that somehow is on every single shelf. And those fresh veggies I only bought a day ago, ruined. Sorry, this only happened today. Okay, so you can see they're really quite different. Okay, I mean, the contrast is very noticeable. And a lot of the things, too, that you notice, there was parts where I sped up and I slowed down, too, in the second piece, whereas the first piece was really kept the same tempo throughout. So I wanted to show you these two separate reads. And by the way, you can also present two separate reads like this to your clients, and say, hey, which one do you like more? Please feel free to use them, or use both or either or whatever. See which one fits your video more. Because a lot of times you won't even necessarily get the video. So your job is to honestly, step out on a limb and see, if it will work, right? So that's really what you're trying to do here, is really giving more personality and attitude through these different methods that I laid out in this video. Listen, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please, if you get an opportunity, hit that like and subscribe button. Also, check out the link below to Avio's Journey Elite Academy. This is the kind of stuff that we learn and we talk about every single week, plus marketing and production and tech and business systems, and a lot of voice acting. So we have a special going on right now, so check out that link below. Thank you guys so much for watching. You have a wonderful Thursday, and I will talk to you tomorrow. All right, goodbye, guys. Goodbye.